Big Jim W. from Moonport Productions press room. We just received a report that on day 40, today, Saturday, May 29th, 2010, the Operation Top Kill, that was an operation that British Petroleum, otherwise known as BP, were attempting to stem the flow of oil from the broken well, it failed. British Petroleum reported that the top kill is not stopping the flow of oil, and that suggested that any progress was incremental. British Petroleum Chief Operating Officer reported in Grand Island, Louisiana, that the effort known as the top kill has not stopped the flow of oil, and if he doesn't know if this risky maneuver will succeed. He said the company is already preparing for such options to tap the well. So to repeat, Operation Top Kill failed. Oil is coming out at a potential rate now in the Gulf. Looking at previous footage, and I will capture, since we've been doing this as a live webcam operation to bring this special report to you ahead of time. We will get some of that footage, and we will post it here in the Moonport Productions press room YouTube channel. I don't know what else to say. With that, this is Jim Williams from Moonport Productions, and we're going to be uploading the other video shortly. Stay tuned for further information.
We are going to argue that industrial technological society cannot be reformed in such a way as to prevent it from progressively narrowing the sphere of human freedom. But because freedom is a word that can be interpreted in many ways, we must first make clear what kind of freedom we are concerned with. By freedom we mean the opportunity to go through the power process, the real goals, not the artificial goals of surrogate activities, and without interference, manipulation or supervision from anyone, especially from any large organization. Freedom means being in control, either as an individual or as a member of a small group, of the life and death issues of one's existence, food, clothing, shelter and defense against whatever threats there may be in one's environment. Freedom means having power, not the power to control other people but the power to control the circumstances of one's own life. One does not have freedom if anyone else, especially a large organization, has power over one, no matter how benevolently, tolerantly and permissively that power may be exercised. It is important not to confuse freedom with mere permissiveness. See paragraph 72. It is said that we live in a free society because we have a certain number of constitutionally guaranteed rights. But these are not as important as they seem. The degree of personal freedom that exists in a society is determined more by the economic and technological structure of the society than by its laws or its form of government. Left square bracket 16 right square bracket. Most of the Indian nations of New England were monarchies, and many of the cities of the Italian Renaissance were controlled by dictators. But in reading about these societies one gets the impression that they allowed far more personal freedom than our society does. In part this was because they lacked efficient mechanisms for enforcing the ruler's will. There were no modern, well-organized police forces, no rapid long-distance communications, no surveillance cameras, no dossiers of information about the lives of average citizens. Hence it was relatively easy to evade control. As for our constitutional rights, consider for example the freedom of the press. We certainly don't without that right. It is very important tool for limiting concentration of political power and for keeping those people in their political power in line by publicly exposing any misbehavior on their part. But freedom of the press is of very little use to the average citizen as an individual. The mass media are mostly under the control of large organizations that are integrated into the system. Anyone who has a little money can have something printed, or can distribute it on the internet or in some such way, but what he has to say will be swamped by the vast volume of material put out by the media, hence it will have no practical effect. To make an impression on society with words is therefore almost impossible for most individuals and small groups. Constitutional rights are useful up to a point, but they do not serve to guarantee much more than what could be called the bourgeois conception of freedom. According to the bourgeois conception, a free man is essentially an element of a social machine and has only a certain set of prescribed and delimited freedoms that are designed to serve the needs of the social machine more than those of the individual. Thus the bourgeois free man has economic freedom, because that promotes growth and progress. He has freedom of the press, because public criticism restrains misbehavior by political leaders. He has a right to a fair trial, because imprisonment at the whim of the powerful would be bad for the system. This was clearly the attitude of Simon Bolivar. To him, people deserved liberty only if they used it to promote progress, as conceived by the bourgeois. Other bourgeois thinkers have taken a similar view of freedom, as a mere means to collective ends.